Hi boys and girls, today for skills we are doing lesson 23, and in this lesson we are talking about the tricky spelling O, which brings me to our primary focus slide. These are our goals for today's lesson. By the end of this lesson you will read a story featuring words with the spelling O, which may sound like A, O, and And you will also be using context clues to determine the correct pronunciation of the words. You will also complete a chart with the correct present, past, and future tense verb forms for respective pronouns. You will also be reading, looking for the enemy, and you will identify vocabulary words and answer text-dependent questions and discuss difficult portions of the text. Let's go ahead and get started. Looking at our tricky O slide, we have our O chart. And looking in our first row, we have the O making the A sound. For example, we have the words hop, drop, and modest. In our next row, we have the O making the O sound. For example, open, hotel, and no. In our last row, we have the O making the sound. Sun, front, and coming. Okay, very good. That O can make a whole bunch of different sounds. That's why it is tricky O. Let's go ahead and go to our next slide. We're going to do a little bit of practice with that tricky spelling O on activity page 23.1. You are going to be writing the words with the tricky spelling O sounded A under stop. The words with the tricky spelling O sounded O under hotel. And the words with the tricky spelling O sounded under from. Sort only the words which the O is underlined. So you are going to read the passage that is in the box, and you're going to really look at the words that have the O underlined. For example, the first one is month. What sound is that O making in month? Looking down here at our O sounds, is it making the A sound like in stop? No, I don't think so. Is it making the O sound like in hotel? Is it saying its name? Month. No. Here we go. Let's look at this one. Is it making the sound like in from, month, and from? Yeah, it is. So month is going to go under that third section there. Okay, everyone see it? Let's do another one. We have older. That O is making what sound? Think about it for a minute. Older. If you said the O sound, you are correct. That O is saying its name. Older, hotel, this second column here. So you're going to write older in that second column. Okay, and you're going to complete this activity page. You can do it now by pausing this video, or you can do it at the end. Let's go ahead and move on. This brings me to our present, past, and future slide. Now, you want to come up with words that are either present, past, or future. For example, they already gave us the word, so you're going to want to come up with the past, future, or present word. Okay, for example, lift is your first word. That is something that's happening in the present. See how it's under present? Lift. How would we make lift past tense? If you said lifted, you are correct. So that is going to go right in the square underneath past. And how about future? will lift is correct. You're going to add in that word will. Now notice how we have subject over here on the left. Those are all of our subjects of our sentences, and these are our predicates. Okay, remember a predicate contains a verb. So these are all verbs if you look. Let's go ahead and do the next one just in case if you're a little confused. Okay, they gave us the word walked, and that is past tense. It's in the past tense column. What is the present tense of walked? If you said walk, you are correct. That goes under the present column. Okay? Next, future. How do we make walked future tense? If you said will walk, you are correct. Nice job. Go ahead and fill in this chart. You can pause this video and think about it. You don't have a worksheet, okay? You're just thinking about it in your heads. You can go ahead and write it down if you would like and send me a picture just so I know that you're practicing. Okay, let's go ahead and go on to our next slide. We are reading Looking for the Enemy. So I want you to really think what happened in our last chapter and what might happen in this chapter just by remembering what happened in last chapter and this picture. What might happen? What do you think? Okay, let's go ahead and look at our vocabulary words. Recalling is your first word. That is a verb. And that means to remember something. Recalling means remembering. She was recalling the movie to her friends. Your next word is crept. That is a verb. That means to have moved quietly and carefully, past tense of creep. Example, the dog crept as he tried to sneak the treat. Have you tried to creep somewhere? You crept somewhere? Rejoice is your third word. That means to celebrate. For example, we will rejoice when we go on vacation. All right, very good. Now that we went over vocabulary words, let's go on to our spelling previews, which brings us to our chart. In our first column, we have all of these words making that A sound, okay? For example, we have place, explain, escape, okay? We have that A and E working together in place to make that A sound. We have A and I working together to make that A sound. And again, A and E working together to make that A sound. Okay, let's go on to our next column. We have the O sound spelled O-W. For example, own, slowly, and low. So O-W is really working together in those words to make that O sound. In our next column, we have the O making the sound. For example, pardon. Okay, you really hear that O make the sound. Oh, and here we go. We have A being lazy in these words. So what sound do you think it's making? Right? It's being really lazy. For example, astonished, managed, and alive. Okay, now that we previewed our spellings, let's go on to our next page. When you're finished reading, this is what you will be doing. Activity page 23.2, and you're going to choose a character, any character from Sir Gus, and you are going to record all the adjectives that you can find from the reader on the left-hand side. And then you're going to think about 5 more adjectives of your own and list them on the right side. Then write 5 sentences describing the character using some of your adjectives. Make sure you have complete sentences with both subjects and predicates. Okay, remember an adjective is a describing word. Describe something. Okay, sticky, small, things like that. And that is it for today, boys and girls. Do not forget to study your spelling words. I hope you all have a great day.